Hey guys, Troy Dooley, Direct Selling News Desk. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. I tell you what, this is the first video I've gotten out in, I don't know, almost a week. I left here last Saturday morning at 9:30 and drove almost nonstop. Literally, I had 2-3 hours worth of sleep, went from Destin, Florida. We're talking the far western side of Florida, and drove all the way to the southern farthest tip of New Jersey called Cape May. Took my son's moving truck and his car over there. He picked me up a day after I got there, took me up to Cleveland, Ohio, where he was going to go see his in-laws. I flew back yesterday morning to Destin. Tired as all get out, but I've got to do this video review. This is going to be the start of a series of a direct selling company that I think is a sleeping giant. This company did $10 million in their very first year of business, but seemed to plateau. And what got me snagged over here was a gentleman that a lot of you don't even know his name, and I'm going to hopefully make him infamous. Downtown Kerry Brown. Kerry has been part of a team that has worked for some of the greatest brands in direct selling. And when they come in, you better believe it's not a turnaround. It's going to be an explosion. It's going to be a rejuvenation, if you will. So I started into my relationship with Kerry because I did a review. It was a scathing frustration from the heart about companies just throwing cash out to distributors and what was going on. And Kerry called and said, "Troy, are you willing to listen to another side of things?" Absolutely. The one thing about me, I want to know both sides. I want to hear it. We started into what has become a friendship. Started out just with a mutual respect, became a good friendship. I've enjoyed this. And as I started thinking of Limu, and I knew I was going to be doing this report, I was sitting actually in Miami at the DSA annual conference, and I'm looking at the stage, and I thought, man, that looks like Limu just 2 years ago. Crisp looking, sharp. I mean, what looked like $1,000 suits. I mean, I don't even own a suit, so but I mean, studly looking men and women. I thought, wow, that's why they did $10 million the first year. Their executive team looked like a team you can trust. But their executive team was also the reason they didn't do $10 billion in their first 5 years. I looked at that and I thought, I've got it. Because I was looking at the stage of the DSA, and the DSA was saying the same thing. They're saying it's time for a new generation. We need to tap into Generation X and Generation Y. You know, they had Jason Dorsey up there, phenomenal Generation Y or Generation X leader. No, Generation Y, I'll get it right. Powerful. And I wrote a note down. I said that there's two reasons companies hit critical mass fast in today's direct selling climate. One, they have massive amounts of money and they can go out there and attract. They can pay bridge loans, whatever, successful distributors who have earned the right to lead. And they pay and say, come on over here. We want you to come over here. We're gonna give you some bridge money until you get yourself going and go crank it. And if it's done professionally and it's done right and it's disclosed, I don't have a problem with that. But then there's another group that don't have deep pockets like that. And they say, okay, if I'm going to do this and do it right, I need to attract a team who can attract the big players. That's what Gary Razor did. When Kerry called me on the phone, he didn't talk to me about Robert Dean Jr. He didn't talk to me about, I can't say the product name. You know, I did this once before. I was doing a video on XanGo, and I pronounced Phuket, Thailand wrong. I was phonetically correct, but that wasn't how they spell it. Or they wouldn't how they pronounce it. Well, this one here I'm going to get the wording right because I don't want to say it wrong and offend anybody. But here's the deal. He didn't care about any of that. All he cared about was sharing Gary's story. I thought, wow. So I started looking at what's going on, and here's what I see. I see Limu, and I'm going to put this in the upcoming series. I see Limu as possibly not being in the next billion-dollar niche, but literally being the next billion-dollar nutrition company. Because what they have done is unique, and I'll tell you why it's the way it is. I think this is my opinion, and it comes from this same magazine. I'm gonna find the article. And I know some of you guys say, well, man, I wish he'd mark these articles when he's going to read them. I know you do, but I'm not. Okay, here it is. Okay, you're home. But here's the article. Listen to this. It's by my mentor, John Maxwell. He says, leadership develops daily, not in a day. To be successful, what matters most is what you do day by day over the long haul. Gary Razor has built a company day by day over the long haul. And now he said, I want to bring on a team that can take us to the next level. He understands there's no Lone Rangers. He's doing something so unique. He's actually giving stock to top leaders in the company. He knows that one day he'll be gone and succession has to take place. He reminds me of Art Williams in that aspect of things. This is going to be a phenomenal review. This is where old school meets new school, if you will. This is where marketing comes into play. This is where you're going to meet some of the most creative corporate minds that I've seen. I've watched them go from brand to brand. Some people in Wall Street would call them a turnaround team. They're able to come in here, look at your company, and say, here's what we need to do to turn that corner and take it to the next level. This is marketing. These guys aren't turnaround specialists. They're explosion specialists. They know how to take a brand that's been simmering like this, and they know how to drive a hole so deep into that brand that when they're done, they actually push the brand up and out. This is truly one of the most amazing stories, from the product to the leadership in the home office to some of the most, in some cases controversial, but without a doubt, some of the most unique and creative field leaders I've seen in a long time. Their goal is to have 5 frontline master distributors by the time they're done. They have 3. I've watched them start an explosion in Japan after a gigantic earthquake has screwed things up for the whole country. These guys are growing there, and they haven't even officially launched. And it's because of the leadership in the field and in the home. Not in this case here, the product comes second. The leadership is first. And it's sure not about the comp plan, because the comp plan isn't what we would say is pizzazzy and jazzy. It's tried and true. You take tried and true and you put some powerful, creative, inspirational leadership to it, and you've got a company that today you've never heard of and tomorrow could dominate the airways, not because of buzz, but because of social jazz. See, and if you guys haven't followed me, then you don't know the difference between social buzz and social jazz. I'm going to give you a quick lesson on it. Social buzz is like a daggum hangover, okay? It was good getting started, but now your headache hurts, it's all gone away, and you don't want to do it again. But social jazz is where you want to keep coming back over and over. It reminds you of New Orleans. It reminds you of that sweet, soft music when you went out on that date with your lovely lady, and you just say, I got to have more of it. It reminds you of that song that your man sung to you, and you say, that's what social jazz is about. And it just keeps coming and coming and coming. That is what we see at Limu. I'm going to introduce you to the team in today's article, and I'm going to show you just a taste of some of their creative juices, no pun intended, but when you see what they can do with their marketing, then you'll see what they can do with their product, and why their compensation plan is going to explode some people's financial independence in a down economy. Live life like it's an epic adventure. We'll see you at the top.